Crime Intelligence Head Lieutenant-General Dumisani Khumalo says efforts to root out bogus officers and ghost employees in the SAPS are ongoing and are being handled with caution. He says individuals found to be occupying illegitimate posts will face investigations, dismissal and possible repayment of unlawfully received salaries and benefits. The revelations came before Parliament's ad hoc committee probing allegations of political interference, criminal infiltration and corruption within the police service.
It's a project that is currently still on because it talks to the identification. The first thing that one has to explain is there is no proper paper trail for that process by then. So even identification of those employees, it's not something that can happen overnight. It's something that we are busy with the roll calls that we are doing spontaneously so as then we are able to identify those that are part of the group. But as soon as we do identify, and then we will then start the process of investigating that will then lead to the dismissal thereof, and then the file then referred to our legal services and HR departments to start the process then of dealing with the expenditure or the benefits and the salaries that were unlawfully given to that ghost employee.
For more on this, we are now joined by Andy Mashiale, who's a security strategist and retired Interpol ambassador. He joins us now via our video link. Mr. Mashiale, thank you so much for your time this evening here on SABC News. I mean, this week we saw the resumption of the Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee, of course, looking into allegations of corruption and political interference within the South African Police Service. Maybe let's start off here. We've already seen testimonies from two witnesses, and of course, we saw the former acting National Police Commissioner Khumalo, and we also then saw 2 days of Andy Mashiale, of course, the minister there, rather of Dumisani Khumalo, that's the word I'm looking for. He was back on the stand for 2 days. What do you make of Dumisani Khumalo's testimony, particularly when you look at the new revelations he made?
Good evening to you, Mbali. Compliments to you and to your team. General Kumalo's presentation, dangerously smart, strategically calculative, calm, and gaming out the questions of the ad hoc committee members, gaming out the consequences or the outcomes means. General Kumalo sat there, and some of the questions wanted him to play his whole hand, and he did not play the whole hand because he is looking 10 steps ahead of the questions that I listened to that were interested in connecting the dots backwards. He was pulling the future into the present so that he must not open up his evidence to those who are outside of the process, those who would be an external threat to the ongoing calculations. He said there, thinking about the courts. If I say this, it might be used against me or against the process in a court of law. So I have to make sure that I respond in a way and manner that does not compromise the investigations that are ongoing now and the outcomes of those investigations. Long and short, that's what gaming out means, and he played that strategy successfully. You saw some of the ad hoc committee members like Honorable Member Breitenbach, they were frustrated with not being able to penetrate his strategic defense of the intelligence that he is in possession of. And you also saw Honorable Sauls trying to corner General Kumalo by suggesting the timeline between General Masemula, the NASCOM, and General Ntankam Kwanas, the PC of KwaZulu-Natal, as well as himself, the divisional commissioner, and the way and manner in which the General Kumalo responded showed that he understands strategic calculations. If he would have made a mistake of revealing the names, it would have opened another can of worms, which might have compromised him in the 10 steps that I spoke about. The 10 steps would be the cases that would have to be enrolled on court rolls for prosecution.
And Mr. Mashiale, let's deal with the evidence he made or mentioned when it comes to the police in Gauteng. Really startling revelations. They also talking about their way of operation in terms of the criminal cartels.
He bluntly, and for very good strategic reasons, he bluntly said over 90% of the police in Gauteng are captured. And how do you calculate the 90%, Mbali? You begin at the head of the province, which he mentioned his name, and that would be General Tomim Tombe. He came down to the head of the organized crime, and he also referred to Brigadier Nkwashi, who paid a visit to Ntateka Tisomulefe whilst in jail. So if you were to calculate or impose any mathematical considerations there, you would say those three people represent the 90% of the operations or the standard operating procedures, which has to do with policing in crime prevention, crime combating, crime detecting.
And I mean, Mr. Mashiale, the issue of journalists was also not left out. I mean, he also singled out journalists, of course, not even mentioning them by name.
Very wise, Mbali. Let you and I go back to connect the dots backwards. General Pashani mentioned the names of the journalists that were in cahoots, that were forming part of the special operation or Project Pashani, for very strategic reasons. After he saluted General Ntankam Kwanas as a brave man who did what was long overdue, and him mentioning the names of the journalists saved General Kumalo from mentioning the names, because you and I already know who are some of those journalists, and also ensuring that he does not mention any judge or any other journalist because of the ongoing conversations. Members of the ad hoc committee wanted information now, information that could be turned into evidence now against the minister, against some of those that they wanted to package what is in the head of General Kumalo with regard to the chess moves that he's making.
All right, Mr. Mashiale, thank you so much for your time. That's Andy Mashiale, security strategist and retired Interpol ambassador. They're just giving us a synopsis in terms of what transpired during a parliamentary's ad hoc committee when it comes to the evidence of crime intelligence boss Dumisani Khumalo.